Hey, what's going on, everybody? David Noe with SpeakEasy HR, presented by Payroll Partners. We are back with another live episode 46. I cannot wait to get into this guest that I have today. He is one of my all-time favorites in HR. We have connected over the last few months, and I am thrilled to have William Tincup on SpeakEasy HR. Welcome, William Tincup. How are you today, my friend?
I am doing wonderful. And I get the most questions about how to pronounce your last name.
Noe
And I
without a Y.
I know what it is, but every time someone says, yeah, speak easy, or the David, no, no, I'm like, seriously?
There you
He
go.
announces his name at the beginning of every one of his shows. Come on, get in the game. Get in the game. There you go.
It is all right. It is all right. There is obviously a family in the bourbon game with the last name, which is part of my background. This little box back here,
Mm.
Booker No, which is part of the Jim Beam family of bourbon. So a lot of people call it No. I'm fine with that. I'm not related to him, but
I should
maybe
be.
there is maybe there if you go to my website, which that has actually a picture of uh Booker's grandson, which is now one of the guys at Jim Beam. Very interesting. We look alike. It's crazy. My wife's like, I think you guys are like brothers from another mother because
Uh-huh.
you guys look alike.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go out there, find it on speakeasyhr.com.
You'll find out on
I
ancestry.com at
know.
one point. You're going to see a DNA match. You're going to be like, what?
I know. I got to do
No.
that. I got to do that. I've been thinking about it for a long time. So, speaking of speakeasyhr.com, brand new blog of the week, which is accountability. Everybody needs to hold themselves accountable, have accountability in their lives. So, it's pretty easy. It's a word, simple word, powerful word every week that I'm featuring out there. So, go check it out, subscribe, look it up. You can see all previous episodes, you can see other information about Speakeasy HR. If you are new to this podcast, welcome. If you are returning to watch this other episode that I have today, welcome back. We are live on LinkedIn and YouTube. And I also believe we are streaming on the WRKdefined community social media as well. So we're here to ask Tin Cup questions. We're here to pick his brain on really anything in the world of HR and business and AI. So I've got tons of questions that we can get into, but we would love to hear from you in the audience. If you are thinking of a question, throw it in the chat. Would love to hear from you all out there. So, uh, for those of you who have not heard of William Tincup, if you want to start and just kind of tell us about your past, because I've
Mm,
been following you for I've been in HR for almost 2 decades, and I think you were very active on Twitter, X,
yep.
social media. So I saw your name early on in the game of HR and business, and now I get a chance to have a conversation with you on this podcast. So take us back to wherever you want to start. I know you went to the University of Arizona. You live in
Hmm.
Texas.
Yep.
So let's hear about your past a little bit and kind of lead it
S-
up to what you're doing now.
So I've studied HR and recruiting and both the practitioners and also the technology that supports the vendors. I've done that for 20, good God, 25 years. And so it's one of those deals that if you do something long enough, you might not get great at it. However, you do at least understand some of the kind of the recurring themes that happen in an industry, or in this case, multiple different parts of an industry. Like,
Yeah.
here's what's going on in payroll. For a long time, payroll wasn't sexy. Now, because of AI and because of what you can do with all this data, it's actually kind of really sexy. So, compensation, performance, and recruiting, like, I love all of it. But the big shift, I think, is I started in marketing, and so I'm a recovering marketer, and but I fell in love with HR and recruiting.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually what I fell in love with, and so I don't do as much marketing, if at any, anymore. Uh, but I love talking to practitioners. I absolutely. get a lot of enjoyment of talking to them about, what's going on, because the tapestry of HR is so rich that on one day you can be talking to somebody and they're trying to figure out a union is kind of coming together and they've got to figure out a plan.
Yep.
And then the next day you talk to somebody and they're like, we're trying to put an internship program together, or an apprenticeship program together. And Wednesday you talk to them and they're like, our CEO just got into a lot of trouble and we're trying to figure out what to do. The board's meeting, blah, blah, blah. Like every day it is something not a little different, like in sales, you know, massive differences. And oh,
Yeah.
by the way, they're responsible for all of it.
Yeah.
So I love that, not just the complexity of HR and recruiting, but also that by and large, most of the HR practitioners I interact with are hopeful. They're
Yeah.
so positive.
Yeah.
Whereas most marketers, the longer you go in a marketing career, the more jaded you become.
Yeah.
And that's not true of HR. And these people are dealing with all of the dark stuff, pay inequities and sexual harassment claims and investigations, like
Yeah.
the darkness of an organization. They're not just dealing with it; they're still hopeful,
Yeah.
which would crush most people.
Yeah. Well, the workforce is evolving, how we hire is evolving, how we develop people, and I just cannot wait to pick your brain on all these topics.
Very good.
Um, we are live on LinkedIn and YouTube. Joe, Mr. Tin Cup.
Hey, Joe.
We got Joe in the house. Welcome, Joe. Thank you for joining. So this question, I haven't really asked a lot of people as they explain their background,
Yeah,
um, but I feel like it's one that every single time I have a guest moving forward, I'm so intrigued to hear the answer to this question. So, what is the biggest piece of advice you've ever received in your career?
it was early in my career. I was probably in my late teens, and I had worked when I was started when for 14, so I was one of those bits. But it was never quit because of one person. And the advice rang true for that particular instance, but also future jobs. I didn't get rattled
Yeah.
I allowed myself the space to go, okay, that person, I don't really need to spend a lot of time with that person,
Yeah.
whatever. But I allowed myself the space to go, you know what? Everyone's different. Everyone kind of comes at problems different. I remember being in business school, you'd have these guys, and it was mostly guys, so I could say this. They'd come to the case study meeting and they go, I have the answer. And it's like, if you ever studied cases, there's not an answer, there's multiple answers. And it's just proving the logic back to what you believe the outcome should be. And so I'd always stop people with like, okay, first of all, stop with the I have an answer. You have an answer. Let's pressure check it. And so it allowed me the freedom to be around people that are different from myself, maybe even super aggressive, and people that I would automatically just distance myself from. I had a store manager that took me aside and said, "Well, listen, you've got a pretty strong personality. You're not everyone's cup of tea. You probably know this by now at 15. However, here's the deal: these other people add value too.
Yeah.
They just do it in their way.
Yep.
So give them space.
Yeah.
Back up a little bit. Don't be so quick to judge." And that helped me immensely. It still does, actually.
Yeah.
Anytime I find myself getting too hyped,
Yeah.
I then think of that. It was Jim George was the name of the store manager, giving me that advice, pulling me aside as a young man, and going, "It's okay. It's you know, no one's going to die here. It's
Yeah.
okay. Just ease back, dial dial down, and don't
Yep.
quit because of one person."
Yeah. It's great advice. I love
Yeah,
that. Well, thanks for sharing a little bit about your background. Really,
sure.
now we're in this work defined
Yeah.
podcast community environment now, and so you and I got connected over the summer, and
Yep.
it's been a an awesome opportunity to work alongside really a lot of other podcasts in the market of HR and business and payroll and really getting to know these people. So tell us a little bit about WRKdefined. When did that all start with that?
So, end of 23, Ryan and I were leaving Recruiting Daily. We had podcasts, and we were looking for a home. So we knew we were going to start this bit, and but we didn't know that we were going to start a podcast network in particular. We knew we were going to do something with our podcast, and then we decided other people started to become interested in it. This is February, mid-February of 24. Other folks kind of showed some interest, so we're like, well, the more the merrier. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all independent. Being an independent podcaster is a very, very lonely pursuit. It is you're out on a boat in the middle of the Caribbean by yourself
Yep.
doing your bit, and it's nice to have. I think we're at 63 shows
Yeah.
now, and it's nice to have other people bouncing ideas off of each other and us. So now it's like we can then play with people that's like, oh, okay, that's cool. I hadn't even thought about that. And it's some type of social promotion, it's some type of collab. It's something that they're doing that we would have never thought about. And so I'm excited for the network to grow and kind of just become better and better and better with analytics and all kinds of stuff like that, just a
Yeah.
larger reach.
Yeah.
But I'm also probably equally, uh, I guess I'm equally excited about just host interacting with other hosts.
Yeah.
Like that, and like Rick Gerard, he's probably has 300 podcasts under his belt. He's never been able to. He's never had another podcast host to talk to.
Yeah.
So you've got newbies, shows that are starting. You got people at 50 episodes.
Yep.
Some people that 100 episodes is kind of what 6% of podcasts get to, which is a hard number. Once you get past that number, then things kind of get in easier. But also just being able to collaborate and bounce ideas off people, I think, is really wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really exciting to be a part of that. I've talked to a lot of the podcast hosts. I've connected with them. We have a fun interactive Slack channel that some people get very involved in and some don't, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But you know who you are out there that are active on it, right?
it's
So
it's one of those deals, and it's probably me because I don't like Slack, and it's only because my last company experience, it
yeah,
was over Slack, like, just like the
yeah,
notifications drove me. If I would hear that, I would automatically send me into a negative space.
yep,
So when we started it, we were like looking around for other ways to do it. We're like, it's actually Slack. This
yeah,
is the answer. We're just gonna have to go with it. So when I'd add a guest or I'd add a host, I'd say you can be as active or inactive as you want to. It's not that big a deal. Just introduce yourself, and then if you don't ever want to log in again, that's fine.
yeah,
But
yeah,
know that we're there
yeah,
and doing things.
yeah,
So it's it's not perfect, but it's kind of the best that we have right now. But I'd like to do more learning and development on
yeah,
Slack.
yeah,
I'd actually like to do more of that bit.
yeah. Yep. We will get there. We'll evolve
Yeah.
and it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting to be a
Yeah.
part of that. So all right. Well, you don't know these questions. This is the 1 through 15 envelope icebreaker
Oh, I love it.
game. 1 through 15. So you have to pick a number. I'll give you a couple
7.
of seconds. Oh, what?
Yeah. 7.
7? All right. Well, let me play my transition real quick. You're
All
a little
right.
ahead of me. Hold on. Did it play? I don't know.
Yeah. 7
Okay.
is sacred to Cherokees, and so sacred pre-contact that you never said it.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Okay. What's a random skill or talent you have that people are always surprised by? Random skill or talent.
I think so I'm bipolar and I take medicine.
Okay.
So diagnosed back when it was called manic depressive, when they rebranded it. called bipolar.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, it's just basically
Yeah.
retouched up. I have a form of it called hypomania,
Okay.
which means that about 90% of my life I'm in mania.
Okay.
10% of my life I'm in depression. So high highs, low lows. And the low lows are suicide tendencies, suicide thoughts. So when I say it's not like you're sleeping a couple extra hours a day. No, you're thinking about how to kill yourself. So the low lows, yeah, they're dramatic, and it's always been there. The high highs is like the art you see behind me. It's like I get into something and then I just can't stop. And what people are surprised, even on medication, a lot of people don't take medication for bipolar because they think that it's going to tamper down their creativity,
Mm.
which is kind of the biggest lie you can tell yourself.
Yeah.
One of the biggest lies you can tell. It absolutely does not. I take 300 milligrams of Wellbutrin and 10 milligrams of Prozac a day, every day, and will for the rest of my life. I can be creative on the spot. So it is a little jarring or not jarring, but interesting for people to interact with that because they're like, I don't really like to think about how we can dot dot dot, and I've already got 3 answers. Like I'm already to the place, and so they're like, "Whoa, wait a minute, okay, live ammo." So, my friends and family, they know this, so
Yeah.
they know if they ask me for my opinion, I'm already going to have things there
Yeah.
because I can access it really quickly. And that's just how my brain is
Yeah.
it operates. I
Yeah.
can go to a creative place in an instant.
Mm.
And thankfully, because of medicine, I don't have the lows.
Yeah.
And I think I think the people that are new when they first meet me, when we hang out or whatever, like it's never off. It's not one of those deals where I turn it off or it can't be turned off. It's
Yeah.
just on.
Yeah.
And so instant creativity.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that because I know about your paintings in the background. We've talked about that, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Is that real? Is that a backdrop?" You're like, "No, I've painted all those." So it's impressive. That's impressive. So,
Yeah,
well,
everybody's
good.
got something. Everybody's got, as you know,
Oh yeah.
everybody's got something.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Well, I cannot wait to get into some of these questions. I think we have a couple in the chat that we'll obviously get to. So if
Sure.
you have questions, this is your time to ask Mr. William Tincup. So
Bring
just
it.
1 minute, a quick message from our sponsor, Payroll Partners. If you want to grab a drink, refresh, and we'll be back here in about 1 minute.
Finding a new employee takes time and money. For one position on a single job board, you could easily spend a minimum of $5 to $10 a day advertising a job post. It's worth noting that the average time it takes to hire a new employee is 36 days. However, it can take longer than that. You could find yourself paying hundreds of dollars a month for a single job board. And if you're using multiple job boards for multiple positions, this could add up to thousands of dollars a month. There is a much simpler and more affordable way of finding the right candidate. At Payroll Partners, we offer an applicant tracking system to help manage your hiring process. Our ATS is customizable, allowing you to decide which days you want to run the job and when to close it so you don't break the bank. And this feature lets you e-blast your network, posting jobs on multiple boards at once, all managed in one location. Payroll Partners, elevating your payroll and HR experience.
That was a
So
cool
if
ad.
you are, oh, thanks. Yeah, I know what people struggle with in their business with payroll and HR tech. Mr. Tincup knows that as well. And a lot of it comes down to service, support, the right fit for the right company and what you use. So if you are not happy with who you have, if you are not looking at your technology and saying, oh, this is going to work for us long term, connect with me. I'd be glad to talk to you about what we have to offer, which is very dedicated support, very dedicated service model, great technology behind all of that. And we have 40 people on our team that really care about businesses and how they operate, big and small. So there we go. And here we go with the questions for Mr. Tincup. We've got a few people in the audience listening, so I definitely have a list if I didn't have many, but we do have a few already. So Mr. Artrell Williams said, looking forward to following you to 100 episodes, David. Thank you very much. Loves the artwork by Mr. Tincup. Joe, you're a wise man, Mr. Tincup. So everybody is enjoying your advice so far. So I don't know if this is really part of where you want to go with this conversation, but
Sure.
he would like to learn more about L&D, Slack idea, and use case.
Yeah, I think it's micro, well, just in time. So you gotta be where people are, and if they're in Slack, and they're there all day, it's an always on kind of an application. You got to be where they are with the content that they need at that particular moment, and you
Yeah.
can build a knowledge base, which is easy enough on a thread for learning events that are coming up or things like that.
Yep.
But I think it's finding out what people need to learn. Done. So some type of simple survey or poll. What do you need to learn this week? We don't need to go out 6 months or a year. What do you need to learn right now? It's like I need to learn more about, let's say, something specific like podcast search optimization, what we used to think of as SEO. In the podcast world, it's PSO. Okay. Well, how can I learn that? And I don't need a master's thesis on it. I just need to know how to get started. And so, like 3 minutes, people's attention span, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, get to the point, get there really quickly and put it in Slack, and do that, follow them. Like
Yeah.
whatever they need, like, okay, you know, I need to learn a little bit more about generative AI or prompting.
Yeah.
Like I downloaded a tool this weekend that's about creating images. And it's different than any AI tool that I've used in the past, where you'd write the prompt
Yeah.
and it creates versions of the image, and then you can then kind of keep going back to the prompt.
Yeah.
And so, like, I would love to have started that experience with a 3-minute video of understanding how to do it.
Right.
I still got there. You know what I'm saying? I still got to what I wanted, but it took me a little bit longer. So I think Uh, I I I think the deal is meeting people where they are when they need that content.
Yeah.
It isn't the master classes and sitting around in a conference room like that. That does have its place for compliance, but I think most people need learning, and that's why I think a lot of people use TikTok and YouTube to learn stuff
Oh yeah.
because they'll just
Absolutely.
type into it and go, "I want to learn, this," and now they got 19 videos that they can watch.
Yep.
So, which is great, but in a business context, I think a lot of it's just micro, real small stuff
Yep.
to then get them started.
Yep. I forgot about this little mini air horn I had in the background, so I
Nice.
gotta play that. There's a new addition to the little
That's
props
very
that I've got.
cool.
So thank you, Artrell, for the message, the question. Next one, Daryl Irby. What disruptive AI technology solution will make the next ripple in the industry?
Um, I've, those, first of all, I think AI actually controlling other AI
Yeah.
is fascinating to me. It's like who's in charge? It's like what they used to say about the inmates running the prison.
Yeah.
So we're training AI on models. Okay, everyone kind of gets that bit. Okay, but how do we make sure that AI is doing what we're asking it to do? So we have
Yeah.
AI basically monitoring AI to make sure that it's doing what we want it to do. I think, okay, what happens when there's a conflict?
Mm-hmm.
Will at one point be a conflict. Right now it's all blue ocean, and you're training AI, and then you have something that's running making sure that it's at least compliant, at the very least compliant. But at one point, AI is going to have there's going to be the some type of yes and no.
Yeah.
where it doesn't understand, okay, logically, it's like if you ever watch Star Trek, like I think it was the New Generation, there was a guy named Data, and Spock was like this too. It's not logical. Everything in AI is logic based.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what happens when emotion or things that are illogical happen? And how does that get reconciled? And I think, Daryl, I think the next thing isn't about AI. I mean, all that stuff kind of plays as it should. Are you building your own model? Are you using someone else's model, of AI model, etc.? The more data you put into it, the smarter it gets. Like I think we all kind of get that bit. They get generative and agentic AI, but I'm actually fascinated to kind of watch quantum computing because they can't figure out how to cool it down.
Yeah.
And once they figure out how to cool it down, there's enough people that are interested in it that they'll figure out how to cool it down.
Yeah.
It'll be able to take computing, what we do in computing, by a magnitude of, a million times. So we still have is a limit on what we can do with computing power.
Yeah.
We don't think that way because we think of all the positive things that happen with AI, but we actually have a limit. What happens in a world where it's limitless in terms of computer power?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it also could be a dystopian movie that scares the shit out of you, but, I'm actually excited about that.
Yeah.
Both what we do with AI and what we learn, and as we learn, we share with other people like, "Hey, I did this thing," I like all of that.
Right.
Uh, I think it's a great time about the when social started, you just tried stuff,
Yeah.
like just do spaghetti against the wall, right? I
Yeah.
think I think AI is like that in a lot of ways, where you're just like, let's try it. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, go to the next bit, see if it works. I think again, if you take that not as a threat,
Yeah.
like a lot of people do, they take that as a threat to their job, to their livelihood, threat to whatever.
Right.
I don't. That's not going to help you, even if it is a threat. It's not gonna help you to think about it being a threat because you
Yeah.
can't control that. What you can control, like what we tell our children, you can control your attitude and your effort.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So it's no different. So with AI, you control your attitude, your effort, and your attitude is, okay. I'm terrified. I'll go to a negative place. I'm terrified. Okay, I'm going to be less terrified tomorrow. And your effort is, I'm not going to avoid these tools. I'm just going to go download stuff
Yeah.
and try it and see what works and what doesn't.
Right. So, how can HR leaders in everything you're saying really try to effectively balance the technology and the human connection in an organization to really engage people still and really make it effective as we
Yeah.
move forward, you think?
Anything that's repeatable. So I saw this quote the other day that AI is coming for uh, the task you hate.
Mhm.
And it's true. There's a whole lot of we go into any part of HR and there's stuff that we've done and we've just done it forever. We don't really like doing it. We've never really wanted to do that. So AI is coming for that. It's going to put a refinement on that is much better than what we would have because they're excited, even though
Yeah.
they don't have emotions. They're excited to take on that stuff because it's repeatable. It's just like, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Whereas every process that you have in HR, no matter where you lie, you look at your process and you say, okay, all the things that can be automated, we need to automate those.
Yep.
Okay, where we need to augment. Okay, let's look at that. And then you start looking for the moment of humanization. Where do we need our humans to be?
Yeah.
So in recruiting, you do like all the sourcing of finding talent and posting jobs and all this very, I'd say, basic stuff that we've done like
Mhm.
champions because
Yeah.
we had to. We
Yeah.
don't want to. Who wants to write a job description? Nobody. Like, why are we doing that? No one. I'd rather stick my pencils in my eyes. Like, no,
Yeah.
no one needs to do that. There's a better way to get to that outcome. However, in that, if you're looking for that moment of humanization, that interview, instead of me only being able to spend 5 or 10 minutes with that person, I've got 5 candidates that I really love. They're highly matched. I want to make sure that I know everything about these 5 people. And that way I can be an advocate for all 5 candidates to the hiring manager. That moment of humanization is more important than all that stuff that came before it.
Yeah.
And so you're looking in your process of where do I need the humanization? Where do I need that human to be? And all the other stuff that's routine or regimented or tactical in some ways,
Yep.
especially if it's repeatable tactical, I don't need to be touching that.
Right.
There's a better way. Instead of fighting it, it's like, let's find the better way, install it, and then check in on it. Make sure it's doing. You got to do this with all AI. Checking in, is it doing what we wanted it to do?
Right. Yep. Another question from Daryl: how does payroll utilize AI?
Oh, I think this is fascinating, Daryl. I think it's understanding where we're spending, how we're spending, and even things like, when are people taking off? When are the days that people are they taking all their days off? Like we can now, because we've always had payroll data, but we haven't really done much with it other than render it in like dashboards.
Yeah.
Here was February, here's March. Like, okay, great. But now we could go into this with these micro insights. Like, did you know your staff that works in Tennessee or works in Chattanooga, that they take off more Mondays than the rest of your staff in your southern states? Like, okay, so now once I know that, it's like, okay, well, why is that? What can I do here? Well, they all went to the University of Tennessee, and just Saturdays are kind of a big thing, even if you're not going to the game.
Yeah.
So they take off because they need an extra day to kind of get right. Well, and now that I have that insight, well, okay, how can I use that insight to become closer to my employees? And not try to change the behavior, but just understand the behavior's there. So it's like, okay, hey, listen, for all you Tennessee fans, here's the deal. Here's what we're gonna do. we're gonna we're gonna work 4.5 days. We're gonna work, differently than other areas. I think that gets to kind of one of my pet peeves about HR historically is that we want to treat everybody the same and cookie cutter experiences for them.
Yep.
And I think we lose people when we do that.
Yeah.
Is because we're not personalizing it to them and their life and what they're going through. So I think I'm excited about the data that can come out of payroll data and what we can do with it to create insights and also create outcomes and ultimately better experiences
Yeah.
for our employees. And it's been laying there forever. We've just never really kind of thought, how do we use payroll data? Like it's the boring data. It's core HR. It's HRS. It's like whose birthday is when. Well,
Yeah.
like there's some fun stuff that can be done in there, and also there's some strategic things that can be done in there as well.
Right.
So it's not
Absolutely.
just the EX. You could start to get a real good understanding that actually connect to your financial folks, your CFO, etc. Because they see it as flat too, just as we see it. But if we could give it a little texture, a little color, and go back to them and go, here's what's going on in payroll.
Yeah.
Now we're building relationships outside of our department.
Daryl wants to know about payroll partners utilizing AI. We definitely are. So Daryl, we should connect. Be happy to explain that more. Talk to you, see what you've got and how we can maybe help. But I want to shift a little bit
Sure.
To just the future of HR and how HR is evolving for the next 5 to 10 years, because I feel like jobs available in 5 years haven't even been created yet. People coming into the workforce, they're in a situation where it's just a really weird time to be finding jobs. It's a really weird market. And 5 to 10 years from now, I've been in HR for almost 2 decades. You've been around
Yeah.
a lot, and so as you are hearing things from HR tech and these conferences you're going to, and the trends, where do you see the role of HR evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I think, okay, so a couple things. If you're a current CHR or a VP of HR, you have a choice. Either you double down and you're basically like, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to be excited. I'm not going to get run over. I'm just going to go have fun.
Yeah.
That's a choice. If you want to be terrified, you've got lots of ways to be terrified. You've got compliance and all the risk that's associated with this new model of work. You've got, again, data privacy issues that are now coming into HR in a way that they hadn't previously, like payroll. For example, you've got to have a fraud department
Hmm.
that's actually making sure that payroll is not a bunch of employees that you're paying that aren't real employees. They're not actually even human. So we didn't have that 2 years ago, 5 years ago. We didn't have fraud departments or fraud detection fraud departments in payroll.
Yep.
So again, you can be terrified or excited. Pick a
Okay.
lane.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Pick a lane. And if you're terrified, that's great. Your pathway to becoming obsolete is real short.
Yeah.
And so you choose your own adventure. I think the people that are looking at it in an exciting way, where they basically said, "Bring it, whatever it is. Oh, we got flying cars? Cool. Let's go. Let's deal with it." I think those people are going to ultimately be very successful in HR.
Yeah.
The second thing I would say is a lot of what people are saying, I think, is true of the next level of HR, the next kind of uh, wash of HR leaders is going to come from outside departments of HR.
Yeah.
It's going to come from sales. It's going to come from ops. It's going to come from other departments that aren't as terrified of AI.
Hmm.
And I think that's where you run the risk as an HR leader. Again, if you're terrified, you're the problem.
Yeah.
So the business will then shift. And they'll say, "Hey, Janet in operations, she's not terrified by AI. She can learn or hire experts in the HR industry.
Yeah.
She can hire an HR consultant. They'll teach her the industry. She's not terrified by AI.
Yeah.
She's going to take it on, bring it." And I think that business leaders are going to get kind of a shorter and shorter kind of fuse to then make that change.
And I think it depends on the size of business. You have those businesses that are getting big enough where they need an HR
Yep.
full time,
It's usually about
or
100 employees. Yeah.
so you're going to have those businesses that are like right at the 50 mark, and they're like, "Oh, we need someone to do HR. Who do we have to do HR? Or can we hire a consultant?" Or there's all kinds of different service models, right?
Right.
We have a service model that offers a little bit of HR service. It's not a full-time HR consultant,
Right.
but if you need a tool or a template or a work, a handbook or something, like there's a way to do that.
Right.
So it's all about how you have to stay compliant in your industry,
Right.
in your market. If you're handling recruiting, if you're handling onboarding, what does that look like? If you are a small business in Kentucky or California, you're going to have a different industry
Oh my.
you're going to have to find those right people. You're going to have to recruit them, retain them. And it's just, so it's very specific to the industry. It's very specific to, and that's,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of businesses we work with, they're, under 3,000 employees. Some have a full HR team. Some are in our payroll software every day. Some never get in. They
Right.
fax, they fax their time cards to
Oh
us
yeah.
still.
Oh yeah.
They drop them off at our office, and they're old school, and they're going to stay that way. You know?
And again, some of that is the die off of boomers and Gen X. At one point, they leave,
Hmm.
whatever that is, and I think that the organization is going to have less patience for that.
Yeah.
That's the institution of well, we've always done it this way. I think we're going to see a massive change in that regard of like, I don't care how we did it yesterday.
Yeah.
I care more about how we're going to do it tomorrow.
Right.
So stop talking about the last 10 years, 15 years. Like that doesn't matter. It was a different world, and I could care less.
Yep.
So that actually it affects a lot of HR folks that are that really have relied on kind of their guttural instincts. I've done it this way. I've seen it this way. I've experienced it this way. No one cares
Yeah.
going forward. They
Yep.
don't. All that stuff that kind of got you to that place is not going to be helpful
Yeah.
because it's actually going to be an impediment to change.
Absolutely. So lessons from podcasting and content creation,
Uh-huh.
what lessons have you from all of that um, can HR professionals apply to better communicate with employees and candidates? Um,
I think I've again a podcast for a long time, and I've been very one dimensional in podcasting because I'm just myself.
yeah.
So there's no, I don't put on a suit. I don't, you know, it, I curse a lot. I'm kind of an over cusser. So there's that. And it's just like, I'm just myself. I'm myself when I go to a church function.
Yeah.
I'm myself when I go to a school event. I'm myself when I go to a bar. I'm
Good.
myself though. Again, very one dimensional. And my language doesn't change based on the audience, nor does my topics. Like if
Yeah.
I'm interested and I'm sitting there and it's in my, again, getting back to being bipolar, if something's in my head, I don't have the filter to not say it as well as a lot of other people, majority of people. They can take an idea, like process it, put it off to the side for a second, and then not just blurt it out. I'm not that guy. So that creates a really interesting dynamic sometimes, but I'm always authentic. Like
Yeah.
it's not a like I'm not trying to shock jock somebody.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm really curious at that particular moment. I'm really curious about something, and I think other people around me have to adapt, which I
Hmm.
think is hard. So I put my friends and family and people that love me kind of through a little bit of a gauntlet of, oh my God, what is he going to say? Which again, some people love that, like
Yeah.
the randomness or whatever. And some people are, I can't be around that person because it's daunting. So I think the thing that you can learn from podcasting is who are you? What do you want to say? How do you want to say it? And then the audience, how do what are they trying to learn? And that's I'm a curious person. First podcast I did, I spent 5 years of my life asking HR professionals what keeps them up at night. There was only one question. It was 5 days a week. It was live, and I would just ask them one question: "What's keeping you up at night?" Because I was trying to learn what was really top of mind for them, like really top of mind, not beige, not simple, like real. Get really into the trenches of. I'll tell you what's keeping me up at night, and it was hard stuff. And so I think understanding your audience, like I'm really curious. I don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
And so I'll oftentimes ask guests, what should I have asked you I didn't ask you?
Yep.
Towards the end, and they'll tell me something. I'll be like, okay, answer that.
Yeah.
So I think, it's like a fingerprint. Each podcaster, I think, each speaker, each one of these people, they have a very unique fingerprint of who they are and what they're trying to figure out in
Yep.
front of an audience. So much of it's like performance art.
Yep.
You're trying to figure something out in front of somebody,
Yeah.
and you got to be comfortable with that.
Is there somebody that comes to mind as you did that podcast? Is there one guest that always stands out as like the one that you remember the most?
Oh yeah, Charlie Judy in Chicago, because his answers were never simple.
Hmm.
Like it was really in depth.
Yeah.
Our organization has a problem with, and it's something, empathy with the clients around something difficult, blah, blah, like something really difficult. And it's like, okay, how are we going to solve this in 30 minutes?
Yeah.
And I like that. I enjoyed the puzzle of that. It's like, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? And going back and forth with Charlie is just a smart HR leader. And also because he came up as a CPA. So he came up through accounting and finance, and then he joined at the lower levels. He joined HR and then went up to becoming a CHRO. He's a CHRO now.
Hmm.
He understands dollars
Yeah.
and economics and all of that stuff way better than most HR leaders.
Yeah.
And so his questions were the things he was trying to solve for were always more complex than anybody else's.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you bring up a good point, because I've seen it in my organizations I've been with, and how they value HR. And the ones that don't value HR as much, I always would look at them and just think in the back of my mind, like, how long can I stay here if their value of HR is not what I think it should be, right?
Right. Right.
And I've been in large organizations, I've been in small startups, consulting, all kinds of industries, and the the industry or the company size and the ownership, how they value HR, and if they feel like it's bringing value, or if it's just another job that's not bringing in any revenue,
Right.
you know. So I guess for people listening that are not maybe into their career of HR for 20 years, and if you're not feeling valued at your company, it might be time to just decide to leave. Make a
Yeah.
decision. You know what I mean?
It's
It's hard.
you get what you allow, right?
Yeah.
This is unfortunately it's a topic that usually comes up around domestic abuse, but it's also true in HR. If you allow people to disrespect you, well, they're going to disrespect you.
Yeah.
If you allow finance not to fully fund your budget, well, that's on you.
Yep.
And I have a similar thing, but it's different in the sense of I can't work for stupid people because I break.
Yeah.
So mine isn't when I look at do you value HR or not, I could figure that out and maybe become an advocate to change that. Uh, but if someone's stupid, like I can't be around them stupid, I break
Yeah.
because I can't fix that.
Yeah.
Like I really do focus on the things I can control.
Yeah.
And kind of like really myopically, like, okay, I can only control these things, not just my attitude and effort, but these are the things I can control. I can't, someone's stupid, I can't control that. But I also know that I can't be around it because I'll break and then I'll break them.
Hmm.
And nobody wins in that scenario. Me, especially, because I don't need to be doing that. But when I've found myself in those situations, I get out of those situations really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I
I'm gonna
do like
throw.
do you value HR? That's a really good one because again, either they do or don't. And
Yeah.
you could say it's a spectrum, but at the end of the day, they either really value and they cherish the relationship with I'm thinking about other executives.
Yeah.
And they either cherish HR just like we cherish sales.
Yep.
We cherish operations, marketing. We cherish these people because they're experts at what they do.
Right.
And so I think if that's there, I'm down. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe said you would look great in a suit, so maybe next time we can both wear our suits the next time.
Joe, I don't own a suit. I don't even own a tie. I don't own slacks. I don't own any of that stuff. I think it would be odd. I think if I really wanted to freak people out, Joe's got a funny point. If I really wanted to freak people in the industry out or my friends or whatever, I'd show up in a suit. Now, the irony of ironies is when I was in business school 100 years ago in the 90s, I went to the Philippines the summer before, and went to Baguio, which is northern Philippines,
Okay.
and I got suits made. I got 12 suits, and they were about $10 a piece.
Wow.
And these were like suits that you'd get at Neiman Marcus.
Yeah.
They're great suits.
Yeah.
So I would wear suits on random days just to mess with the other business students, because everybody's wearing their regular attire and whatnot, and I would just suit up. And the mind games of business school. I just suit up, and people would always be like, "Hey man, what you got going on?" Something later. This guy's got to be
Something
ready for
later.
Just yeah,
Just a little,
vagary,
just a little something.
just vagary. I got an interview, or
Yeah.
just do this bit, and I would just like for no reason, like I just played this game just because I had these suits.
That's amazing.
So
So
most
good.
of my friends from business school, it's been a long time. They're like, "Man, what were you doing? You seem like you were interviewing all the time." I'm like, nah, I was just going back home. Just I was just playing mind games with people. It's
Oh my
like,
God.
yeah, and it's only because I went to the Philippines the summer before that I had suits. So it is kind of funny, but no suits now. I'm out of the suit business.
There you go. Well, I'm gonna throw one final curveball to you.
Ooh,
So, what question do you want to ask me? And you have to also answer that question. So maybe it's not the podcast question you asked everybody, what keeps you up at night, but
yeah. How'd
what's
you
what
get? Okay, so how'd you get into bourbon? What was the
how
gate?
did
What
I
was the?
get
I
into
mean,
bourbon?
you're in Kentucky, so like I get it. But how'd you get into it? Because you're a connoisseur. You actually know bourbon, not just some person that buys bourbon at the liquor store.
I think during COVID, I was able to go to a lot of distilleries
Yep.
and they were still open. And I started meeting people and I started learning the history that's been around forever and how these guys and these companies started and what went on before prohibition, what
Right.
happened after prohibition. Like this bottle right here, this didn't make it through prohibition because it's now a bunch of browned water, but
Uh-huh.
this has wax and this stamp. This
Wow.
this was bottled in 1937. It was made in 1916. So this is like a piece of history
Yeah.
that goes back. So I've been able over time to just meet people that are in the business of bourbon, work at distilleries. I had previously somebody from Lofted Spirits as a guest. And so I just it became just something I was really interested to learn more about. And obviously you can go to a lot of different really cool bourbon bars
Right.
and find things that you just can't elsewhere. So it's just become a hobby and it's just like anything else. You can get addicted to alcohol, you can get addicted to anything. So it's like it's having that fine balance of
Yeah.
enjoying it but not making it like a true addiction because through
Yeah.
COVID, I feel like a lot of people drank more in COVID, right? So
Oh, 100%. There's a lot of people that made bread. Don't really understand that deal either. But the thing is I was telling my son about this, about alcohol. We were talking about it the other night. I said, listen, here's the deal. I have a relationship with alcohol. Two things. If it ever impacted work, I'd stop.
yep.
And so if I stayed out all night or whatever, I went to work. It might have been great, but I went to work because I'd never let the addiction, vice, whatever impact my work. And the
Yep.
second part is I think everything in moderation. I think that's probably a Catholic thing. But it's like, again, I like scotch just as you like bourbon, but I'm actually a spirits guy. So I grew up on beer, but just stopped abruptly drinking beer. There's only one beer I'll still drink. It's Chimay,
Okay.
but that's it. I don't drink beer.
Yeah.
Even if that's the only thing at the place I'm at, I just won't drink. I'll have
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Um, but my spirits, I go all spirits. Scotch is my favorite, but all spirits. If it's tequila, as long as it's high end tequila, I'm down. If dark rum, as long as it's high end, I'm down. I like the stuff that I don't have to mix. So like a tequila with Fresca. Yeah, I'm not interested in that anymore. You know, a really, really, really good tequila that's sipping tequila, I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
And I'm not, as I was probably when I was in my 20s or whatever, I'm not drinking to get drunk. I'm drinking because I like the taste of it, which is, almost counter to exactly how I grew up because I would just drink beer to drink beer. Like it's cold. I mean, it's a cold can. It's a hot day.
Yep.
Yeah. What else would I be doing? And
Yep.
now I've got I don't think it's evolution. I think people's tastes just change. But I do like spirits, bourbon being one of them. And my brothers they're not on your level, but they love bourbon. That's
So
that's their preferred drink.
it's an acquired taste, just like everything else. And if you
Yeah.
come to Kentucky, Cincinnati, I'll take you to a vintage bottle shop named Revival. Shout out, Brad. We'll find something of the year you were born. They
Oh,
have,
nice.
and you can sip something from the year you were born. Like this Wild Turkey. This is from 1980. I don't know how old you are, but this is 1980.
Dude, that's awesome.
And so we go in there, and I just, again, when you can find things from Prohibition, the
Yeah.
year you were born, like it's different than just going to a bar and getting a beer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And
it's an
there's
acquired taste.
times times like if you look at the arc of your life, there's times when it's totally cool. You're tailgating. I went to Alabama, so you're tailgating, and it's 4 hours before the game. Like, what else are you gonna do? There's only so much barbecue you can eat. At one
Yep.
point,
Yep.
you're gonna have some beers.
Yep.
It's no big
Absolutely.
deal.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
I
And then
I wouldn't enjoy that as much now. I do tailgate because my brother's tailgate at University of Texas. I'll tailgate, but I'll bring my own liquor with me. Like I have flask. I'll
yep.
bring my
There
own
you go.
liquor with me. It's like, no, I'm good. Hey,
And
what do you got in your hand?
this is where I got married 2 years, almost 3 years ago, right? So it's a distillery.
That's
My
cool.
my wife and I went and we did our own bottling of a blend that we picked out from 5 barrels, and her blend actually won in a blind test. So she won, and we gave this away to all of the guests that came to the wedding. So
Oh, that is
got our cool little
cool.
if you're familiar with tater stickers, it's a
Yeah.
little tater sticker for the bourbon fans.
For the
Hey, it's just
non-Catholics out there, it's one of the benefits of being Catholic is we don't mind drinking. I remember my wife was Southern Baptist when we met.
yeah.
Her father was over the Southern Baptist Convention Board for the state of Mississippi. So at our wedding, there was no alcohol.
Okay.
We got married at Sanford in Birmingham at Reed Chapel. And there was no, and I remember all my family's all Catholic. So I remember him coming to the reception, looking around like, where's the punch bowl? Like, what are we going here? It was so unusual. I mean, because
Yeah.
it's in the South, especially Southern Baptists, you don't drink. I mean, you
Yeah.
don't drink in that way. Catholics, yeah, that's not a problem. We're good.
Daryl said, "Try Soledad Javon." Javon.
Ooh,
I don't.
Soledad,
Did I say that
Soledad.
right?
I'll look it up because I'm always looking for cool stuff.
15-year barrel aged tequila. Yeah, tequila's on a rise. Tequila, and it's like the stock market. The
Dude, I'm a
bourbon is slowly going down.
no, dude.
Tequila's going up.
Dude, you've got all of the what is it? Eagle Rare and Buffalo Trace, and they're on TV shows like in Yellowstone. If you watch Yellowstone, every time they went to the bar, they ordered Buffalo Trace.
Oh, I know.
You
I
know,
know. I know.
Blanton's. Like I wouldn't say it's on the downslope, but
So I would say it's on the downslope only because the demand is changing. The supply and the demand is changing 5-7 years ago, things are coming out now that they were trying to figure out what would be popular. So I mean,
Right.
everybody's spending more money. All the distilleries are adding.
Right. Right.
They're investing. Buffalo Trace is doubling their. I mean, they're spending billions
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
B.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like they're doing fine. But I'm saying you can walk into liquor stores now and get stuff that you couldn't get 3,
That's
4
right.
Now
That's right.
you might be paying a little bit more, but
Yeah.
you can find it a lot easier. And there's new spirit companies, there's new blends and barrel age things,
That's
and
right.
just there's so many new things. MGP and what's coming out in some of these massive companies, it's different. And so again, tequila is, I think the popularity of tequila is changing a little bit. I think,
Yeah.
so it's just again,
Right.
it's acquired taste.
Soledad, I just looked it up. Their bottles look gorgeous.
There you go.
I mean, it looks really good. So
Okay.
thanks for the
Check it out.
recommendation. I'll definitely text because I
Absolutely.
also smoke cigars.
Yeah, you like
It's
cigars?
and so I always try to match and pair. So that's always kind of a trick and kind of a fun game that I play with myself. That just okay, I want something that's strong and I want something that's not as strong, so that they don't you know bounce off of each other too hard.
I
So I'm always looking for stuff, and I love sipping tequila in particular.
I can see you in like a fine suit with a cigar and a tequila, like out somewhere on some like patio with some music going like that.
Dude,
I
if
can just
you
see you
ever
doing it.
see me and you've like, I wonder if he's made a lot of money somehow, it'll be me and there'll be an entire karaoke band behind me just walking through conferences. Like that's how you'll know. You'll go, "Oh, okay, mariachi band. Yeah, he's clearly he's lost all interest and won the lottery and doesn't care anymore."
Here comes
That's
Tin Cup.
Here comes Tin Cup. And, you can mute all the instruments, so you could just have them doing their bit and it's not blaring.
Oh man.
Just have a mariachi band just following you around, man. Like, all right, cool. Let's go over here and see what these people are doing.
Yeah. Man,
So,
that's amazing. Do it. Do it. Well, this has been a blast. I
yes.
thoroughly enjoyed having you on. For those watching still live, appreciate you being on. If you're not looking at the WRKdefined podcast community, you can scan the QR code on the screen, but it's pretty easy to get to. It's WRKdefined.com. And SpeakEasy HR is a proud part of that community. So it's ever growing. Like Tin Cup said, we're over 60 podcasts and it's growing, and it's just a great group of different approaches to a lot of topics in HR and business and payroll. So check it out. Obviously, keep in touch with SpeakEasy HR as we move into the fall. I got a lot of fun guests talking about AI and recruiting, and next week have another that's part of the WRKdefined community as well. So thank you very much for coming on today.
Dude, it's been great. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back next Monday for episode 47. Everybody enjoy your day. Mr. Tin Cup, appreciate you, my friend, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you.
See ya.